Ladies and gentlemen, babies and elephant, welcome to another new video. I'm Bowsley here, and today I would like to share with you guys a build for Frostblade Berserker. Now, it's almost towards the end of the league now, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are trying out new builds, finishing up your currency, gambling, all sorts of stuff, and some of you are still new. Welcome. This is actually a melee build. Personally, I played it for a few days for now. Really try to test it out and see what the DPS can scale from, and also see the potential of this build and end game content, etc. That kind of stuff, right? So far, it has not disappointed me in any way. It's very satisfying in the sense that the speed, the clear speed, and the one-to-one single target, it's really decent, right? As you saw the showcase earlier before the video began, you can see the clear speed, and you can actually practically melt the bosses as soon as you can min-max this character. Okay, now I wouldn't say this min-maxing this character is going to be cheap, but definitely within mid-range you'll be very satisfied with even mid-range itself. Like you can pretty much clear off all the end game content without any problems. Okay, so I just want to go through a few basic stuffs about Berserkers and Frostblades and stuff. So basically, Berserker is Ascendancy. So this Ascendancy, I want to go through the Ascendancy first. So basically what you want to go through is first you want to start off by going for physical attack and then crave or slaughter. So this one gives you 1 rage on hit with attacks. So whenever you attack an enemy, you gain a rage, right? So the rage will go up to 20. Okay, so every rage will give you more attack speed and more attack damage and move speed. Okay, so that means the more rage you have, the more faster you attack and the more faster you kill, right? So it's like a startup, right? After that, you want to go through up the top and go for Flawless Savagery. So this one gives you more crit chance, more fist damage, crit, and crit multi. So basically this build is built around critical strike, attack speed, and fist damage. Now Frostblade is actually a cold damage skill, so most of our fist damage will actually be converted to fist damage as well. So what you want to do is ultimately you want to pump as much fist damage as you can to your character, and then most of it will be converted as well. So that means you'll put out a shit ton of damage. Potentially this build can go up to 20 million DPS. At the moment now I'm doing about 8 to 10 mil. There's still a lot of stuff that I need to work around it. I still need to upgrade, I still need to min-max my stuff. I'm still level 90 at the moment, so I'm not there yet, but I see the potential in it, and it's really fun to play. So the next part you want to go for is to the right, and then you want to get Blitz. Now Blitz is also a really important node that you want to get, because my apologies, I've mixed up a little bit. Now Rage goes up to 50, not 20, my bad. Blitz is the one that goes up to 20. Okay, so this Rage charge, you'll go up to 50 Rage charges. Now on the side here, next to your mana, there will be a bar that fills up. That's the Rage bar. So it goes up to 50. So when you're capped at 50, everything will be so freaking fast and you hit really hard. But as time goes by, it will slowly drop down. Okay. Now Blitz works similarly. Game Blitz go up to 20 Blitz, and then 2% more attack speed for each Blitz. So you will get up to 40% attack speed. Yeah. And then you gain critical strike as well. So basically you're getting more speed, more damage, more crit strike, more speed, more damage, more crit strike. And then lastly, you want to go for Aspect of Carnage. So the reason why I chose Aspect of Carnage instead of going for Rite of Ruin, some people go for Rite of Ruin because when you lose 0.1% life per second per rage, but you gain triple of the rage effectiveness. Basically, the effectiveness of the rage, you gain triple. Yes, it's very juicy, right? But the problem is you lose life per second. Number 2, it's not efficient enough. Like, let's say you go to a boss room, right, and then you encounter a boss. The boss, your rage charges might go down, and once it discharges, right, it goes all the way down, you will lose this effect, correct? Whereas this aspect of carnage, yes, the downside is you're taking 10% more damage, but you're gaining 40% more damage. Now the difference between more damage and increased damage is increasing from whatever you have. So 200% of 1 damage is still like 3 damage, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Whereas if you're getting 40% more damage is from whatever damage you have right now, 40% on top of it. So it's very different. So I think this is a very good note to take now. Okay, so I'm done explaining about the Ascendancy. Now let's go into the gear. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the leveling gear just for the basics. Like you want to start off creating this character, you want to know like what are the leveling gears that you want to go with. First off, you can go for Red Beak. Now Red Beak Rusted Sword, it's well, you can lose it at level 1. You can actually buy it for I think 1 chaos or something. So this is a very decent starting gear. You can get 50% increase fizz damage, flat fizz, attack speed, life, you know, all that stuff. This is really good. I personally think Karoi Ward is good. Karoi Ward gives you strength, dex, accuracy, move speed, and potentially when you use Frostblades, projectile damage and projectile speed affects Frostblades as well. So Frostblades is actually a projectile, so it fires out 9 projectiles essentially. So basically it gives you move speed, attack speed, and it fires projectiles, so whatever DPS you'll fire 9 out. Okay. And then as for the ring, you want to go for Blackheart. It's a very basic simple ring for low levels. 1 to 4 fizz damage, increase global fizz, life, regeneration. Okay, so these are the basic gears that you want to pick up when you are leveling your character. You can just use 2 Red Beaks, it's fine. And as you go on, and then slowly you can upgrade to different kind of gears. This is just some suggestions. Now I want to go through with my gear at the moment. Now what I have here is I'm using dual foils. The reason why I use dual foils compared to other rare one-handed swords is that because of the flat fizz is being one of the highest, and also the attack speed is being the highest, so it's 1.6 base without even having to upgrade it yet. So that's the reason why I use dual foils. So what you want to achieve from getting the dual foils, essentially your weapon, is you want to achieve to get as much fizz damage as you can, flat fizz, as much physical damage increase, attack speed. That's what you want to achieve. Critical strike is not the most important one. What I think the most important is you want to get fizz damage, attack speed, and increase fizz damage. This is what you want to achieve. On average, let's just say on average, this weapon itself, it's about, this one I have is about 460 physical DPS, which is quite decent. This one is about, I think about 420 or 430. You want to get something above 400, and then that's when the damage really pumps up. So same thing, increase fizz damage, flat fizz, attack speed, and crit strike quality. Yeah. So these are the weapons I'm using. The helm I'm using, with the helm enchant for Frostblades damage increased by 40%. On average, the helm is about 50C. You can get something below that, something cheaper, and craft it yourself, or you can just get the basic one with a simple unique. Make sure you choose a unique that's suitable for your character, that gives you life, some resist if you can, and also if fizz damage if you can, or crit strike. So yeah, this is what you want to pick up. And as for the armor, what I'm trying to achieve is that I want to get as minimal mana cost as possible to cost me to cast the skill. So I'm using Socket attacks have minus 15 total mana cost, and life, increased life, and also attack crit chance by 1.44%, and crafted 19 life with armor. So at the moment I'm using this one. As for the rings, you would like to go for either elemental damage, or you want to go for fizz damage. Elemental damage helps very much. So this ring, I crafted it myself. I got fizz damage, some resist, elemental damage, curse enemies with elemental weakness because Frostblade is elemental, and crafted on elemental damage and channeling skills minus 8 mana as well. So here is 23 mana. Okay, and the other ring I went for is the Circle of Fear. Now this one increases the Herald of Ice effect because we're using mainly Herald of Ice and Hatred, so since it's cold. So this one gives me some dex, corrupted. The implicit will be attack speed, and also Herald of Ice have 100% increased buff effect. So the clear speed will be very, 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 very strong, very, very potential. This one can really blast through the clear speed for you very easily, which is very, very useful, and it adds some flat cold damage as well. Amulet, actually anointed this for Blade Master because it gives me more attack speed, more crit strike, and more fist damage. That's the reason why I took that note for the anointment. If you guys have no idea what anointment is, you can check out on YouTube. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few videos to explain anointments on your jewelry. Basically, you can anoint your amulets, rings, and your belt. So this one I'm using now, it gives flat fist, resist, and some melee damage and dexterity and attributes, because you want to get dexterity enough to actually equip jewel foils, because the jewel foils requires about 212 dex to actually equip them. Yeah, so you need quite a amount of dex to actually use these guys. And as for the boots I'm using right now, it's two-tone, fire lightning resist with cold lightning resist, and also I'm using elusive on crit strike and tailwind. So this is kind of like it's luxurious. Like, you don't have to go for this one. The reason why I went for this one because tailwind really burst up my attack, like my action speed. Now tailwind is actually Ascendacy from Deadeye. So whenever you cast a skill or do something, it will give you faster everything, like a buff. Okay, so tailwind is really, really good since you're gonna crit strike all the time anyway. And also elusive gives you kind of a buff, like a defensive buff, where you have dodge spell hits and dodge hits buff as well. So this one gives me more survivability and more move and action speed, everything faster. Okay. For the belt, I'm just using Stygian Vice with resist, increased damage with against chilled enemies because I'm chilling the enemies all the time, and also elemental damage and life. Tomb Fist for the gloves, increased life. 2 sockets equipped with the Murderous Eye Jewel because intimidate enemies, and Searching Eye. I'm not using Searching Eye Jewel sockets because I won't be getting the maim in enemies effect from the glove, because Searching Eye Jewels, there isn't any very potential ones for this build actually. So the reason why I'm using Mirror's Jewel is because of the giving flat fizz and flat cold damage to you. Yeah, so this is the gloves. So aside from this one, what you can go for, the budget, the more budget options that you can go for with in terms of uniques, you can go for Ichimonji, Corsair Sword. This one is quite decent. The flat fizz is quite okay. Like, the attack speed is good. It's about 1.9. Gives fizz damage, flat fizz, attack speed, increased buff effect on you. So basically, the Herald of Ice increased another 10% as well. And the buffs does not affect allies. Doesn't matter because you're going solo anyway. Skiva. This one gives flat fizz, shit ton of crit strike, crit chance as well. And if you equip according to whatever sockets it is, it'll give you additional damage increase or defensive increase. Okay, so these two are what I think is quite okay. As for the Helm's the Conjurer's Head, this one gives you a lot of dexterity, which is good, so that you can equip your foils. Attack speed, crit chance, evasion, and life. This one gives a shit ton of life, which is what you really want. Okay, and let's look at the next one. The gloves, I'm just using, this one I can suggest to you to use, go for Oscam. The reason why you want to go for this one, first off, is there's a free assassin marks on hit for you, which is really, really cool, right? So if you can't manage to get this elemental weakness, you can still get assassin mark, because assassin mark curses the enemy so that the enemy takes extra damage from crit strikes, so that you don't have to craft that jewel, that ring, and you can use this one, and it's really, really cheap. If I'm not too wrong, I think it's less than 10 chaos for the gloves. So this one is really sweet. The only downside of using this is because of the minus 17 chaos resistance, but since our chaos resist is so low, it doesn't make any difference anyway. And this one gives you 7% chance of dodge spell hits. Potentially it can go up to 8%. As for the armor, I would like to go for Belly of the Beast because just because of the resist and life, so more survivability. The boots, you can actually go for either Windscream. The reason why you choose Windscream because of elemental resist, elemental damage, and also you can apply additional curse. What does this do? So let's say you can only curse the enemy with one curse, unless you have effects like this that gives you additional curse. So Assassin Marks is one curse. Let's just say you have Assassin Mark and you have elemental weakness, but you can only affect the enemies with one curse. When you equip this one, the enemies will be affected with elemental weakness and Assassin Mark, which makes them take a lot more damage. Okay, so this one I think it's not bad. A Ziri Step, if you want more life and more move speed and dodge spell hits, which is quite decent. Rings, you can go for Lihup or for all. This one gives you Flat Fist, attributes, increased damage and resist, which is really sweet. We want to cap out our survivability because this guy, he really goes hit on. Melee characters, you really need survivability because you're going hit on all the time, so you need to survive most of the time, okay? So this one gives really decent elemental resist, damage and flat fist and attributes, which is what I think is quite cool. The other ring you can actually go for is Paraxis. This one gives you minus total mana cost of skills. Let's just say you don't have this one, or you can use this one with this ring. You know, instead of using this one, it's up to you. So minus cost of skill and gives you more mana regen, so that you can spam your skills basically. Amulets, you can go for Karui's Charge if you have a budget. Basically, it's an upgrade from the Karui's Ward. So this one gives attack speed on top of everything else. And or you can use Blood Grip. This one is really nice as well. Gives you life regen, flat fist, life regen, and also when you move while you're bleeding, you don't take extra damage, which is really cool, right? It's because sometimes when you get bleeding and you walk around, you don't even notice it, and then you just die. So this is a real good addition for you as well, a new good option for you. Now, since I'm finished explaining on the gears, I'm going to go through with the skill gems. Now, the skill gems, most importantly, is this 6-link, which is the Frostblade 6-link. Frostblade, you want to get it as high level as you can, the highest that you can ever get. And also as much quality, because this is like your main skill. This is your bread and butter, guys. So you really need to get this as high as you can. And then supported with hypothermia. So this one actually helps you on chilling the enemies, make them chill so they're really slow. And also it gives you a chance to freeze them as well. And they take more cold damage. Really sweet. Increased elemental damage because it's elemental. You can use just normal regular melee physical damage support. Gives you more fist damage. Ruthless support is used to complement with multi-strike. So multi-strike basically it strikes the enemy twice, and Ruthless is on the third strike you deal more damage. So 1, 2, 3, the third will be the Ruthless most of the time. So it's a quite a good combination for the skill gems, for the main skill gems set. And then for the blades you can use precision, so I gain more crit strike chance. Frostbomb to reduce the enemy's cold resistance even further. Berserk, so basically how Berserk works with your rage, you remember what I said about the rage, you have 50 rage. So as soon as much rage as you have, you can actually trigger Berserk. So when you trigger Berserk, you will lose your rage slowly, but then you will gain more damage and more attack speed as you Berserk, okay? So Berserk is really sweet. So you can choose not to use this, but I choose it because I want to like melt the enemy as fast as I can, right? As for the other weapon, you can use Blood Rage. Blood Rage is really cool because as you use Blood Rage, right? Yes, you take damage over time, but you gain a lot of attack speed, and you actually leech life as well from the enemies, and also you will gain Frenzy Charges, and Frenzy Charges basically are buffs that gives you more attack speed. And you know you can really hit fast, right? So let's say I have Blood Rage on me now. Let's say I trigger it now. As you can see, it doesn't really go down. given the decent amount of health regeneration. So you don't really have to worry about actually killing yourself with just Blood Rage. Okay, so Blood Rage is cool. And enhanced support to give it more quality on the Blood Rage, and Ancestral War Chief is your secondary damage that you want to use when you're killing bosses. So when you're killing bosses, it will boost your DPS much more and much further, which can push up to about 10 mil. Yeah. So Ancestral War Chief, again, as much levels that you can get for this one. As for the helm, I'm using Hatred. Hatred, you can use any normal Hatred, but you want to get it as high level as you can. Same concept. Herald of Ice, same concept, highest level, because this one will help boost your Frostblades further. Flesh and Stone, personally I use this one because of the blood stance. It maims the enemy, so when you maim an enemy, they move a lot slower. Yeah. Or you can use the Sand Stance, which makes them blind, so it's less likely for them to hit you. Yeah. So that's why I'm using Flesh and Stone, and Enlighten to reduce the mana reservation for these 3 gems. And as for the gloves, I'm using Immortal Call, cast when damage taken. So when I take damage, Immortal Call will give me a buff that lets me take less damage, and yeah, basically it makes me stronger and tougher and more defense. It's a defensive buff, right? And for the boots, I'm going for Endurance Charge or melee stun. So when you the reason I'm using this is because the main one is the Leap Slam. So when you leap around, right, when you leap on an enemy, you will gain an Endurance Charge as soon as you stun them. So when you leap, you stun, you gain Endurance Charge. So basically it's free Endurance Charges for you. So what Endurance Charge gives you as well? It gives you more health regen, and it gives you defense as well. Faster attacks to give your Leap Slam like amazing, crazy, like speed like this, right? And also Fortify to give you your skills to have more melee damage, and gives you increased attack damage. So if you're using what I'm using now, like Tomb Fist and Stygian Vice, so what I can suggest for you, the Murderous Eye Jewels, you want to go for Flat Fist and Flat Cold. If best, you want to get something like this. Like this is really nice. Like it gives you life, it gives you Flat Fist, it gives you increased damage if you killed recently. Since you're killing all the time, increased damage will be really sweet. Or you can get basically cold damage and fist damage works together because you're basically using a cold skill. For the flask, I'm using instant recovery flasks with immunity to bleeding. Cinder Swallow is actually not expensive. I think it's about 5 to 10 C. This one gives you life mana and energy shield regeneration. Potentially, if you can get the crafter mod, which gives you crit chance, that will be even better. As for the Bottle Faith, this is totally not necessary at all. You don't have to use this. This is because I have it, I'm using it. This is so expensive. This is like 12 to 13 exalt, so there's no point of using it. To replace this, you can actually use either Adziri's Promise, which gives you more DPS, or you can use Wise Oak to penetrate the resistances of the enemy, which is more DPS as well. And you want to use the Diamond Flask that gives you crit chance lucky, more chance to crit. Also, you want to use Lion's Roar because this one gives you more armor, gives you much more physical damage. Alright, so I've already gone through all the gears. I want to go through now is the skill tree. And for the skill tree, where you want to start, if you're starting off with Marauder, you want to start off here, move down, and you want to get at the beginning you want to get more life so you won't die that much, right? And then after that you move up and get some beef, get some attack speed, and then you move on to here, get more attack speed, fist damage on your melee weapons, one-handed attack speed. So basically the nodes that you're going for is attack speed and damage and life, attack speed, damage and life, attack speed, damage and life. Those are the main 3 ones that you want to get, and then critical strikes comes after that, okay? And then from here, more life, more resist, down, life regen, down here, and then you can move down here, or you can move here, you can move this way, and you can actually go for bravery, life, and also attack speed, and then you can move downwards, dual wielding, more damage on dual wield and attack speed, life. This one I'm using, so the gem, one of the most essential gems that you want to get as well, which is the very fight for survival. So this one, what it does is actually gives you Frostblade penetration, 15% cold, as long as you have 40 dexterity in radius. So there's definitely 40 dexterity over here, so there's no problem. And Blade of Cunning, you want to go for this one as well. Fist damage, crit chance, and crit multi. Life, move on to here. If you need more intelligence to equip your gear, or you need more dexterity to equip your gear, you can always go for these notes and then change it afterwards. Fang of Frost, you want to penetrate cold resist. And Twin Terrors gives you more damage and more crit chance. Life, and then you can move up here and get more damage. Attack speed, move speed, crit chance, damage, life, and more life, and fist damage converted to cold, and another fight for survival. So you want to get as much fight for survival as you can. And lastly, like I told you, the Blade Master, the anointment that I got on my amulet, this one gives me fist damage, attack speed, and increased melee range. Yeah. So this is the skill tree that I am using right now. There's still a lot of improvement that I need to go for. I need to fix it. But at the moment now, it can clear everything without any problems. There's no problem with it anymore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this build guide. There'll be more build guides and more how-to videos I'm going to upload soon. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I stream every day as well on Twitch. You can come by on Twitch, say hi, drop by, ask any questions you want about the build. All questions are more than welcome. I do a lot of crafting as well, so you have questions about crafting, you have questions about anything else, go ahead, come on in, just ask, just shoot your questions. I'll be more than happy to give you all the answers you need, okay? I hope you guys have a great day ahead, a great week ahead, get more lucky drops in the game, and all the best. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you guys.